Hi guys, my name is Mohammad Cordon. In this video I'm going to talking about what is trim sheet and what's the benefit of using trim sheet and how should we try to produce some texture in our trim sheet. So I wanna show you some examples of trim sheet and what did I do not great. I'm not gonna say wrong because it's not wrong, but it could be better performance wise. So in our scene I have this picture frame with flowers, these three and these two, do you see, and this one and this one. Okay, so how did I use them? I told in, where is it, in here, how did I make picture frame and different using of it. So as you see, when I change here, it changes. Okay, so this is not what I'm gonna discuss in here. I wanna discuss, okay, we have these textures in here, but how did I import the textures in Unreal Engine? I named I made a folder in Unreal Engine in textures and named it pictures, and in pictures I have them in here. So as you can see, I have 14 pictures in here. So what does trim sheet says to us? Trim sheet says like, okay, what's the difference between these pictures? Why don't you put them all like a one texture instead of importing 14 different kind of textures? Why didn't you put them all on Photoshop and make it on one texture? Like, what do I mean like that? I mean like, for example, look at in here. I made lots of pictures in one texture. Okay, it's like these pictures. For for these pictures I could use, instead of 14 I could use 1. Okay, so you may ask, okay, why should you do that or whatever. In the past video I explained about MIP maps and all of that, texture streaming and all of that. So this one I can't produce number of MIP maps. This texture can't stream. I explained it on YouTube. You can find it. I didn't upload it yet, but I will. You can find it. It's called MIP map. I explained it in there. So for MIP map I should convert all of these 14 pictures on Photoshop and put it back in here again, all of that. Okay, so instead I could put all of these pictures on Photoshop and make a 4K by 4K. Like, let me open Photoshop. So here we are in Photoshop. We go to File, New, for example 4K by 4K, create it. So this is our scene in Photoshop. For example, I import these pictures in here. Maybe I need these 6 pictures on my project. I said like okay. I said like okay, go in here. Okay, again go in here. Okay, yeah, like that. Okay, then instead of importing 14 textures in here, I could just import one and use it for my scene. Okay, that's one way to reduce our RAM uses and all of that stuff. Another thing I could use, for example, I used, for example, this wood in here, and another wood, maybe this one in here, this one. Okay, so instead of importing, I imported both of them in here in wood. This is the first one and this is another. So totally it's 18 textures. Okay, so instead of these 18, I could maybe use 6 of them, but go to for this case we have to go on Substance Designer, put all of our textures on Substance Designer, and make I don't want to open it up because I didn't do that. I don't have a ready project to show you, but I'm gonna explain to you. Let me delete this one. Yeah, I found the video. For example, I could import these in Substance Designer, for example this one, and the others on the bottom, and put them in on Substance Designer. We can mix 2 textures with different channels, for example, not just one, this one with this one, but also you know, the gloss and the gloss and the normal and all of that. And it's so powerful, it can produce it. We can say to Substance Designer that I want the half of this square to be, I want this, the half of this one this texture, and the other half this texture. We make some shapes and manipulate a lot of things and all of that, and we can reduce the amount of importing texture that we imported in our engine. Okay, so by that technique we can decrease a lot of things. For example, I used this clock texture for my clock. Where is it? My clock is in here. Okay, so then I thought that I want to have some texture for these GIFs as well. Then I thought like, okay, I could make a trim sheet and I put them all in here. This is the texture for my clock, and this is the texture for my gifts, and these 4 pictures are for my, I want to model some juice. I thought like, okay, that would, we have some other space to use. I imported them in here, and again we have some empty areas, we can fill them in here as well. For example, another thing, we can import them in here. I have the file of it. I have the file in my project, HeavyRain, texture. I have it in here. I named it clock, gift, and juice, and I have the, where is it? And I can whenever I like open it up on, yeah, it's a Photoshop, yeah, it's PSD. I can, whenever I like it, open it on Photoshop. Let me, for example, this is Photoshop. I could put it in here and say maybe I want another picture. Maybe I want this picture to use it. I put it in here, put it like that, and scale it a little bit, and say OK. And now I have this picture on my texture on Unreal Engine if I import it, and I can use it for another thing as well. Okay, so it's so powerful, so useful to use. For example, I could for this sugar cube case, I could because it has a picture. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. It has a picture. I could import this picture on this extra space and use it as a trim sheet. Okay, and yeah, or for my buildings, I have 6 different buildings. I could do the same thing again, go in Photoshop and import them in here and export it as a 1 texture, not 6. Or I could, for example, in tiles, I use most of my tiles on my bathroom. I use this tile, this one, and this one. Okay, so I imported 3 different textures in here. Okay, I could reduce them. If I put them all in Substance Designer and manipulate a little bit and make a one normal map instead of 1, 2, 3 normal map, I used one normal map, 1 reflection, and 1 color. That's 3 colors, 3 normal maps, and 3 all of that. Okay, yeah, it's so powerful, so useful, and as you can see, for example, I have plaster in here, on my ceiling, on my wall, and on this part as well. I mean the outside. So there are 4 textures, and let me calculate it like that. For example, 4 textures and 4 different material that each one has at least 5 textures inside them. For example, normal map, base color, and all of that. Okay, show you. For example, this one, as you can see, it has 5 different. Okay, and it can be 20. Okay, and for the text cell density of this project, I used 1K. And what did I do for that? I just decreased the resolution to 2K. Okay, for better performance, I could use a 4K map, but divided into 4 parts. Now, let me open it up. Okay, so I could do where is it? I could use it like this one. This one like this, and this one like that. Okay, for example, this one, the A plaster I use, this one is the B, this one is C, and this one is D. So as you can see, instead of 20 textures, I could, by this technique with trim sheets, I could use 5, because I decrease them, you know. Yeah, hope you get the idea of it. Yeah, or maybe for decals, maybe we want something on our ceiling, and we want something on our wall, and we want something on our floor. So we make them and put them on one texture. Don't import 4 different texture for using as decals, you know, and all of that. So hope you enjoyed this video. I think I explained, and at the end I just wanted to mention something else. Another benefit of using trim sheets is, like, for example, we have different type of designs, like you see in here. For example, we have different breakages, scratches and breaks in here. We have some design in here, some other design on the top, and all of that. Okay, if we make it as a square like that, and then we put it on a Substance Painter, or for example, maybe this one plaster, maybe this one concrete, maybe this one stone, maybe this one bricks, whatever. Then after we export it, with the power of UV, we can make different shapes with just one texture, that we call it trim sheet. For example, in here, this is the texture we made it, and this is the result. We UV it well, and we could make different texture with different shapes on our asset with just one texture set. And if we wanted to make it differently, we have to put each and every of our assets into Subpainter, again doing it, again go back and forth for each asset. But if we make a good trim sheet that has almost what we need in our project, we can use one texture for different variety of our assets in our scene. So I didn't experience with it a lot, but thanks to this artist, he's explaining a lot of things about trim sheets, and I learned about it, but I just have the idea. I didn't used it on my projects a lot, so maybe I have to practice a little bit more and learn the power of trim sheets. So You can search on YouTube Polygon Academy and see what he has done and learn a lot of things about it. So, and at the end I want to mention something else, that I don't want to blame myself that I'm not good at trim sheets, but otherwise I'm so proud of myself that I'm motivated enough to want to learn a lot of new things and improve every day. So trim sheet for me is a new thing, but in the future I will be absolutely more great with it and more comfortable, and hope in the future I will explain and show you a lot of things about trim sheet and all of that stuff. But I don't worry about it. I like this job and I love the process of growing and improving every single day. So again, don't afraid of the things you don't know. Don't afraid of things you're not familiar with it. Yeah, maybe it's out of your comfort zone and you will stuck to it, but if you leave your comfort zone, you will learn something new. So that was the reason I just wanted to explain what I know about trim sheets, although I'm not great at it. But I explained as much as I knew and hope you enjoyed it. So thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.